Okay. Sorry, it's kind of covering the slide. But my name is Elise Bunce, and I will be talking to you about my program. It is called Illuminate Hope, and our slogan is Shining Light on Teen Eating Disorders. And that's our logo, which I'll go into more detail in a minute. Our mission is to prevent eating disorders and eradicate the stigmas that come along with them. We strive to promote education, awareness, and support to those suffering with eating disorders and for their loved ones in a judgment-free zone. So about our logo, we wanted to use a light bulb to symbolize illuminating the hope or lighting up the hope and the strength for our clients with the eating disorders and their families. And we hope to shine a light on adolescent eating disorders and to break the stigma of eating disorders as well, integrate a supportive system. And you can't really see right there, but right here, you can see within the light bulb there's a H in the coil, and that just symbolizes the H in hope, in Illuminate Hope. So why this service is important to me, I want to implement a program that can help young adolescents have the chance to overcome their eating disorders before it becomes too much. I don't think there's many programs out there that can help with the beginning stages of it. There's really more towards inpatient facilities that can help with eating disorders. I also believe that families don't really know how to approach eating disorders within their own family. Personally, my mom has been recovering from her own eating disorder, and the way she would talk about exercising and dieting really spiraled into my own eating disorder. And my brothers and my dad didn't really understand eating disorders, and they didn't know how to approach my mother's eating disorder. And so we didn't know how to communicate about it. And so I really want to implement a program that can help families learn how to communicate with one another about the eating disorder, but also just communication in general to help the better communicate and have a better family dynamic. So our rationale, the target population we're aiming for is young adolescents. I'm sorry you can't really see that, but it's ages 10 to 16 is what we're specifically targeting at risk for eating disorders. And in the early onset of their eating disorder as well. Just some statistics that shows why we need to implement this program is that anorexia often appears during adolescence, with 76 reporting onset of the disorder between the ages of 11 and 20. Again, that's the age range I want to target, is between 10 and 16, which is right in the middle of that statistic right there. And so another statistic is 81% of 10-year-olds are afraid of being fat. Now that's a very, very high number for 10-year-olds. I want to be able to get those 10-year-olds to be able to break that fear of being fat. And so that's why I want to target the 10-year-olds at the beginning of this program. Currently, Lubbock does not have a program specifically for eating disorders for adolescents. We do have the Covenant Body Mind Initiative that covers all adolescents for resiliency and educating wellness, but that does not cover eating disordered adolescents specifically, which is what we're trying to target. And so according to UMC's Community Health Needs Assessment, 3% of respondents also reported a household member was dealing with some form of eating disorder. So yes, eating disorders are in Lubbock. And that's why we need to implement this program in Lubbock. So another statistic from Lubbock is the Lubbock MHMR states that second and third top needs for adolescents our need for education on prevention and health lifestyle choices and mental health issues. And that's also covered in our program. So the model program that we're bouncing off of is the Elise Project, and that's located in Dallas, Texas. This is a program that offers prevention and awareness education through a program called LEAD. This is a student-led program with a 7-month curriculum that touches on self-esteem, leadership, and sensitive subjects from the clients. This program serves disordered eating disorder, obesity, and for their loved ones and caretakers. So the hypothesis of etiology that we have is that young adolescents with low self-esteem, low body image ratings, depression, anxiety, compulsive behaviors, and high stress levels are more at risk for eating disorders. And the hypothesis of intervention is if young adolescents experience low self-esteem, low body image ratings, depression, anxiety, compulsive behaviors, and high stress levels, receive educational and emotional support groups as well as therapy for themselves and their families, then they will have higher self-esteem, higher body image ratings, lower rates of depression, anxiety, compulsive behaviors, and lower levels of stress that are more likely to not endure an eating disorder or go more into their eating disorder. So our first goal is for young adolescents to become resilient by forming healthy coping skills for depression, general and social anxiety and stress. So how we'll implement that is to improve the amount of coping skills of each young adolescent within a semester time. We're wanting to provide educational materials for them as well as emotional support groups, and we're having that facilitated by the Texas Tech MFT grad students. And that will also be measured with pre and post tests of coping strategies inventory. Our second goals is to have an increased knowledge in healthy eating and overall lifestyle for both the client and their families. So how we'll implement that is we're hoping to decrease unhealthy eating and poor lifestyle habits with each young adolescent by 40% with education of healthy eating habits facilitated by the Texas Tech nutrition and dietetics grad students. And we're also wanting to have healthy exercise education by the ESS grad students. And our third goal is to foster healthier family dynamics between parents, siblings, and the adolescent, improving overall communication for their families. We're hoping to have 70% of the parents and adolescents to be in better communication through this process model. And we're hopefully going to have healthier family dynamics within the year. We're going to have the results shown through pre and post test family assessment device. And that'll also be implemented by the Texas Tech Family Therapy or Marriage and Family Therapy grad students. Some service elements that we'll have in our program. Illuminate Hope is going to be a school-based prevention and educational program. Services will last about one semester or one school year depending on the client's needs. To be eligible for this program, the clients need to be between the ages of 10 and 16 as well as their families. And these clients need to show signs of early onset eating disorder or have clear risk factors that we have further discussed earlier. And if the client does have severe anorexia or bulimia or any other eating disorder, we will refer them to another facility or a treatment facility or another therapist that can help them in a better way. Other service elements are going to be emotional support groups and educational support groups. Within those educational support groups, we're hoping to educate the client on coping skills, also healthy nutrition and exercise habits for clients and their families to be included in, and also have generalized eating disorder knowledge. We're wanting to have the families be included in this knowledge so that the families can help the eating disorder client within their meals in a healthy way and their exercises in a healthy way. We're also wanting to provide therapy sessions for clients and their families. So these services will be after school at the student school and after work for the parents, and then the therapy sessions will be at the family therapy clinic on their own schedules. And so we're hoping to serve approximately 15 families per month. So just to touch on our employees and volunteers, we have one program director which will oversee mostly everything and the administrative duties, and then we'll have two program directors coordinators. We'll have two program coordinators, and they will be in charge of overseeing the grad students, be in charge of scheduling with the schools, with the clients and the grad students, and just so planning everything really. They're going to be the heart of it. And then our volunteers are going to be the Texas Tech MFT grad students, the nutrition and dietetics grad students, and the ESS grad students. And so the outcomes that we will be assessing are going to be assessed by pre and post test designs, so that we're able to measure how the clients came in and how they came out of the program to see if they improved and if there's more subjects that we need to fix. And so assessments will be administered at the beginning of the program and once at the end of the program. So this could be at the end of the fall semester or at the end of the spring semester, depending on the client's needs again. And the measures that we'll be using are going to be the coping strategies inventory. This will be used to assess the coping thoughts and behaviors of the clients to have a specific stressor. So that'll help measure their problem solving, cognitive restructuring, social support, and problem avoidance. And then we'll also be using the measure family assessment device. This will help assess family functioning in problem solving, communication, the family roles, effective responsiveness, effective involvement, and behavior control. There's not really much grant funding for eating disorder programs, so we had to find a really broad foundation that can help fund this grant. So we got it from the Community Foundation of West Texas with the Community Fund grant, and so this award is about $500 to $5,000 at the very, very most, and to be eligible, you need to have a startup fund. This needs to be as a startup fund, general operating support, program support, and demonstration programs. And so we qualify for the earlier reasons is because we're a startup program. And also for this foundation, you need to have the program be implemented in the Lubbock area, since that only caters to the South Plains and West Texas area. So just to look at our budget table, we spent a lot of our money on the salaries, of course. Just to touch on our facility, we are doing mostly school services, but we need to have somewhere that can be more administrative duties. So that'll house all three of our staff members. So that'll be about $7,000 a month, or a year, I'm sorry. And then just going into equipment and office supplies, marketing and background checks, we are at a grand total of $137,050. And then I'm hoping to use that extra $113,000 to set $550,000 aside for the emergency fund, and then $82,950 to roll over into the next fiscal year. So after 3 to 5 years of success, I really want Eliminate Hope to go regionally to West Texas and help Amarillo to Abilene, maybe, or and then I would even like to have this program to be a statewide program. I really think that teens in Texas need this program, and I think this would be a very great program to be implemented. And again, if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to email me, and thank you so much.